as a parent, I know I want the best for my child. And of course, reality is very harsh. Reality is it is not easy out there. So yes, I want to protect my child um, from reality, but at the same time, in protecting, our children, like how are we giving them the skills? How are we making them stronger for, what to come in the real world? Because, school is not the real world. And home is not the real world. So how do we prepare them for the real world that is not going to be mindful of their feelings? Yeah, it's a strong topic.
And I'm gonna say the same controversial thing that I said to you some time ago that um, I think sometimes as mothers,
Hmm.
I'm saying it very cautiously.
Helicopter mothers.
Sometimes as mothers, we really unintentionally we hurt our children, and I remember us having this conversation maybe not so long ago, and we said that this is why it is very important to have balanced homes. You need the
Yeah,
nurturer, and you also need the other person to help with disciplining and setting them
yeah,
straight.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah. Like I don't think a lot of people realize also how um blessed they are, to have balanced homes where there's mom, there's dad, there's the nurture and there's the protector and there's the discipline, discipline with love, because also there are people who are being disciplined with anger, and that doesn't help kids, you know.
creates trauma.
Yeah, it creates trauma, they need that discipline, that firmness with love. So they understand not just that they're doing something wrong, but they also understand how to approach it appropriately, and be taught the skills on how to approach um, daily life and daily experiences appropriately, problem solving experiences. Sometimes we believe that, oh, if I do it for my child, I'll make it easier for them. But it's
No,
just
that's true. No, that's
going
true.
out there and giving them that experience. Like, I remember my grandmother, like growing up, like simple things like she allowing me to wash my uniform. Even if the white shirt didn't wash properly, she would
You had
let
that
me wash it and
experience.
then she would go back and rewash it,
That's true.
after I hang it out. But
That's
at
true.
least she gave me the experience that the more I did it over and over and over, I learn from my mistakes. I learn what I need to do better next time. Yeah.
A lot of times my students at school ask me, why am I learning math? When am I going to use matrices? When am I going to use trigonometry? When am I going to use calculus?
Very good
And
question.
those are excellent questions. Excellent. But what I've come to realize, Crystal, is that it's not that I'm not teaching you something that you will necessarily use every single day.
Say,
I'm
but the
sometimes when I'm teaching
concept.
them about simultaneous equations, for example, I'll say, oh, but when you go to the stores and you're buying, this plus that or whatever. So I'll create it in that sense. And they go, but I don't need to do all of that, which is true. They're absolutely right. But you know what you're learning without realizing when you're going to school and you're solving those difficult problems? You're learning how to problem solve. You
Yeah.
are learning how to come up with solutions. and
Solutions.
and
Yeah.
and the thing I love about math is that there's most times there's not just one way of solving the problem.
Yeah.
And I tell my kids, even today I was telling them that, yeah, I'm a teacher, but I'm also a student, and I also
Yes. So
learn
we're
from
learning. Yeah.
I learn from them as well. And I think we have to have that openness and that
Yes.
curiosity. I think that's what helps to build the strong children that we will need for the future.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
cannot be so afraid of having them trip, of having them, get hurt, of having their
Yeah.
emotion, just so worried about their emotions, so protective, because I think in the long run it creates more harm than good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember during COVID, and yes, I was a helicopter parent. I'm learning a little bit, and I think I've gotten a whole lot better at
Yeah.
it. Um, but yeah, COVID, I had my oldest, she was just 6 years old at the time, and she was doing online school. And I remember that entire experience, like I remember being next to her. I'm teaching my kids, and she is 6, navigating an online space on her own. Like, no, she wasn't blessed with having um a parent who was available to sit beside her. And I did have parents like those during COVID who were just there.
Mm-hmm.
They were just available, like they were taking the
They were,
classes too.
yeah, yeah,
But she didn't have that. And
yeah.
I remember Crystal, them I remember she wasn't perfect with her numbers. So like the teacher would say, turn to page 359. And
And
poor
she's
child
still
was,
looking,
yeah, like she
looking
would
for
get
it.
lost. She couldn't follow. And it was hard for me. It was hard for me because I wanted to be the parent who could sit beside
Sit
her
beside her
and
and show
tell
her
her what to do
exactly.
and find the page for her and do it all for her. But life just so happened to not have allowed that.
Allow that.
And so I had to pivot.
Yeah.
and and what I ended up doing was having those conversations at home after the classes. You need to speak up. You need
Yeah.
to stop the teacher. You need to let the teacher know that I've not found the page. I'm not there yet. Something that used to happen to her as well. They would, because I think they were on Google Classroom, so they were moving from. I think they were clicking on different links to get to
Links
different
to get to
sessions, different
different
classes. And my poor child was sitting there after everybody left, not sure what to do.
to do.
What she learned from those sessions was how to ask questions, how to speak up for herself. And I've realized that has followed her. Like that's a skill that she learned, a skill that she didn't lose. Like she's shy,
Mm.
but
But
every teacher that she has had since then has always told me that she asks questions.
ask
In fact,
questions.
I'll tell you, she's now at a place where she prefers to ask the teacher over me. So
Mm,
she's gonna go
yes,
ask and get,
yes.
even with her math, she's gonna go
Mm-hmm.
find the math teacher and they're gonna have the
And get the
conversation.
help. Yeah.
So
And that's definitely what we want to see in all kids.
yeah,
The
yeah,
confident, um, after having an experience that it was hard and they had to navigate that experience, coming out with a good result, saying that, okay, because I had this experience, now I can understand other situation, brainstorm it, problem solve it, and also be confident to speak up when you need help and not
girl.
wait till after the exam to ask for a makeup exam.
There was a conversation I was listening to recently, and the key thing I took away from the conversation was the skills. Um, is not that they are necessary for life right now, but it's like if you don't utilize the skill, then it's like not using that part of your brain.
Mhm.
How they say that we don't use the full capacity of our
Our
brains.
brain, yeah.
It when I think
It's
about that, I think about it as your brain just like the lights going out, you just getting dim.
mm-hmm. And like for growth to happen, we have to move out of our
We have to
comfort.
keep growing.
We have to keep growing. We have to keep being creative.
And it
Change a
brings me
lot.
back to the point of my kids and the differences that I'm now seeing with them
Mm-hmm.
compared to how I was when I was their
Mm-hmm.
age. So my kids, I allow them to use the tablet. They do use that. They do have tablet time. But I look at my 4-year-old, even my 3-year-old now, the games that they're playing, challenging games, and like she
Mm-hmm.
really, yeah, like there's a lot of thinking that goes into it. A lot of times, my husband,
Mm-hmm.
he sees them and he's like, come look at this.
Yeah.
And she'll take the games to me. I heard Jeremiah and you the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He
I heard you
he
saying you can't figure out the game. I heard
I
you.
he has these games that You're supposed to problem solve things. And I am like, what am I doing?
Exactly.
Like, what it's like, what problem are we going to solve now?
No,
And
exactly.
I'm supposed to find the hidden thing in the room, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. But it's just amazing how even like there's a lot of people who are against technology, but I
Mhm.
believe use of technology in the right way
Right.
can
Yep.
help our kids to expand their knowledge.
True.
Um,
I fully
like
agree with that.
like Jeremiah, he will just take, he can draw every letter on the tablet, but give him a pen and pencil, he has no interest because that's
And I'm
where
sure he also
A,
knows how to find the apps that he
yes,
wants.
he knows how to find the apps, he knows how to close it out, and find different programs, and turn up the volume. And I'm like, who taught you this? Nobody showed you how to do this, but
Exactly.
they figure it
Exactly.
out.
But and
They
then
figure it out.
even though there are differences, we still
Yes,
land in the same spot, in
same.
the same place. So yes, they the kids might not know how to spell
Spell.
big words, or they might not know how to read right now.
Yeah.
But they are showing
Reasoning.
those
Mm-hmm.
reasoning skills,
Yeah.
problem solving, critical thinking. The other day I had I think this was Christmas. So I had some gifts arriving from Amazon. And but I wanted to be really cute about it. So I always had a box at the door with our books in it. And I thought I was being smart because I know for one night my oldest, she is not gonna notice. Like I could put the gift beside her and she would not notice. But what I did was I opened the door when they weren't looking, or I think they were probably there. That's why I didn't sneak it past. So I opened the door, I collect the package, and I just put it on top of the box at the door. It did not
But
take the 4 year old
the
and
4-year-old,
it did not.
she's like, Mommy.
She said she came. Oh, what is in this? Oh my God! What is
Yes,
this?
reading
Is
the
this a gift?
label.
Is
Yes,
it?
and the colors, and
No, there was no color. It was in a brown
it
package.
was in a regular Amazon package.
Yes,
But
yes.
she,
And you know what I learned in that moment is that she is
she's
aware of her
aware, very
surroundings,
observant,
very
very,
observant. And I
yeah.
mean, there are so many other examples I could give,
Mm-hmm.
but that makes me proud. Like I can see that in her. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I always say she's gonna be one of those persons where she's gonna know where she puts her stuff. Like you know those
Indeed.
people where
Yeah.
they put their
If
pen
they
down
leave
and
it
they're like
right
it was
there on the
new.
top shelf, the third row, they want to go back and find it on the top shelf in the third row.
It's like that.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
is. She's like that. Uh,
Detailed oriented.
and
Yeah.
she's very curious too. Like
Yes.
so recently and on her own, like because we're trying not to force them, not to we don't want them to develop a negative association with learning. We
Mm-hmm.
want it to be fun and
Fun and
out of curiosity.
yeah.
So now she's at a place where now she's realizing that sounds come together to create
Mm-hmm.
words.
Yeah.
And so whenever we go out, like she's always saying, Mommy, what's that word? Or
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, like these sounds come to, like I'm seeing that. And so I know like where she's headed, and I'm okay with that. Like she's getting
Yeah.
there in
You're
her own time, on
nurturing
her own
those,
pace. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
those qualities. Yeah, and it's good that as a parent you're identifying those good qualities, you know. You're identifying those good qualities and you're taking the time to nurture them. You're taking the time. You're not um stopping her from being curious, or telling her, oh, be quiet, or how sometimes I know they used to say, oh, children should be seen and not heard, but
Yeah.
you are encouraging her in a way, her curiosity and her details, you're encouraging that. And as she gets older, she will remember, mommy was always receptive to when I did this or said this or asked this.
And
And
they're willing to
yeah,
make
yeah,
mistakes to
and
solve.
willing, yeah.
Because this is also something I see in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've gotten to a place, and it's sad, really. I don't know when, how, where, why,
Mm.
but we got to a place where people are just so concerned about the end result and not wanting to go through the
Go
process.
through the process,
So
yeah.
too often I have my kids coming up to me, and they're at the honor rolls already
Mm-hmm.
before going through the process of solving the questions, doing
Question.
what's required. Like it's good to see the end
Yeah.
at the beginning, but you have to also have that intentionality about getting through.
Yes.
What do I need to do to to
Yeah.
to get the end that I want. I see my kids being afraid to make mistakes. Today in class, I had a student go to the board to solve a problem, and I could see that the student was struggling. And my intention in calling the student to the board was not to embarrass him.
Embarrassing.
It was not. It was, listen, my approach is, I call on you to go to the board. This is my way of building confidence in you,
Mm-hmm.
because now you're getting to explain to your classmates,
Yes.
you know. And I agree. Sometimes it can be a
Yeah.
make or break moment, but I try to build a safe environment for my kids.
Yeah.
I want them to know that it's okay to make mistakes.
And also, I own up to, you know, Miss, I really
Don't
don't
understand.
understand, or
Yes,
I know this part, but this part challenges me. Like, why
exactly.
do we put it here? And
Exactly.
be open to talk about that
Oh,
in.
exactly. And as a teacher, Crystal, that is exactly
Mm,
what I want. What I that's seldom do I get that.
mhm.
Because even when the child was at the board struggling to explain, it was, oh, can somebody else do it? Oh,
Do
I
it.
don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It was just about deflecting. It was
Yes.
about taking the attention off of
Yeah.
himself. I had to pause for a moment, and I had to say, listen, this is not about your classmates. This is
Hmm.
not about impressing anybody. This is
Yeah.
about you, your journey.
Getting it done.
And the
Definitely.
only way you're gonna get better is if you press through. You really put in the effort into trying to solve the thing.
Yeah.
Because you giving up and going back to your seat and then tuning out is not gonna make
Not gonna
you more
help.
prepared to answer the
Not
question
gonna
this
help.
time.
Not gonna help. Yeah.
And this is applicable in all real life. Like, it goes back to what I was saying to you before, that um it's just so much easier to say I don't know, and to pass the
Mhm.
plate to somebody else, to pass the burden to somebody,
Yeah. You
rather
do it.
than just, yeah, than just thinking about it, just
You do
just
it.
spending some time to think.
Yeah. There's so many circumstances when you don't get to pass the plate. You know, you're not gonna get to pass the plate when you get your job. You have to do it, by all means necessary. Your boss is not gonna say, okay, you're not feeling like it today. Okay, I'll give it to the next person. Maybe they feel like it. Or you don't know how to do this. Oh, let me give it to the next person and they will do it. No, the real world, you're gonna have to figure it out, ask for some help, take some extra time, do some overtime to figure it out and get the job done. So, if school is supposed to be preparing us for professional life, then I think we have to set those standards from early on.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. And I
Yeah.
think if we fail to do that,
Yeah.
if we fail to lay down those ground rules,
Mm-hmm.
I guess unspoken rules, within our education system and within our homes, then I think that's where we start to fail our
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
Because then,
Definitely.
no, and I can tell you, I have kids who, they have the biggest dreams, they have the
Yeah.
biggest ideas and goals, and nothing is wrong with that. I support that 100%. But
Yeah.
they have no real understanding of the work
The
that
work
goes
that you have to
into
put in, the
achieving.
steps. And sometimes the dream looks nice, it's wonderful, but are you willing to go the extra mile to get there? And not all journeys are the same. Not everybody's journey is the same. Sometimes yours is going to be harder, And I can even remember like growing up. And for me, I was never good with numbers. Like math is not my thing. It's still not my thing. Like I see too much numbers. I'm like, oh, but I understood that challenge and I was able to put the work in, to overcome those challenges, to end up getting a 2 in math in CXC. I was like, oh my goodness,
You
I
work so hard for it.
I
You're
work
proud of it,
hard
right?
for it. So I,
Yeah.
I I was like, oh my goodness, I did all that work and I saw the results and I was like, whew. But I felt it like, if I did not put the work in and I just went on and keep complaining, like I wouldn't have gotten it. And of course, in Jamaica, math is a big thing. You needed math to get into university. So I, I just knew I had to do it. So yeah, now they have alternatives and I think they're giving I think they have like an alternative math
Yeah.
that you
I think
can
so, yeah.
do to get in, but at that time we didn't have much choices. We just knew that we had to put the work in and get it done. Yeah, and
I have a question for you.
mhm.
What is your thought process as it pertains to students aiming for honor roll or parents too? Maybe not the students, but the parents. Like as in my space, what I see is a lot of parents come and they're like, I want this for my child. I want them to get all A's. I want them to get, I want them to make the honor roll board. Um,
I
what are
think
your thoughts?
I
Mm-hmm.
think there's just a prestige about so at my university we have the dean's list and the president's list, which is like honor roll
Mm-hmm.
for the middle schoolers. And I think there's just a prestige about knowing that you are on this list, by all means necessary, even when you don't put the work in, you know you just want to have that title. You're seen, especially if your peer group is accomplishing it and you are the one who's falling behind. But I believe, and that's my belief, that if I want it, I have to work for it. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to ask for makeup tests. I'm not going to ask for extra time if I know my goal is to be on the honor roll. But the thought process is different with the
I mean, to
parents.
some extent, I do agree with that. In fact, like I said, I'm going
Mhm.
through a reformation. And so for me, honor roll was always a big deal, back when we were in school.
Yeah.
I don't remember, we didn't call it honor roll, did we?
There,
We had
we
like
were,
students of the
we
month.
were, we were, no, we were ranked. We were ranked first,
But
second,
I
third.
remember like getting stars. Like I remember getting stars and going up on the podium to. I remember that. I don't
In
remember what
high
those were.
school.
Yeah, in high school, like they would call out the students who got 80 and above, and we would walk up to the podium and they would put a sticker on our clothes. I remember that. So
Okay.
those were it. Were they? I look forward to them. And as you said, like
Mm,
if you're in a circle where everybody else is getting it, you will feel like
feel
the
the odd
misfit,
one, the odd one out.
the odd one.
Yeah.
My
But put the
problem
work in.
though, my problem though, and I'm being very honest, very, very transparent.
Yes.
Transparent is the word that I'm gonna use. In saying that, I had gotten to a point, and this was in my late teens, where I remember somebody saying to me that I'm academically smart, but I lacked street smarts,
Hmm.
you know. And I mean, when I look within myself, yes, I agreed with that. I could do any test on paper. I can study, I can SWAT, I will get it. But there were basic things that I did not know in one dimension, maybe,
Yes.
you know.
passing exam, going to school, being a good student.
Right.
Because technically, that is the world we would want our kids to live in, that perfect world
And
that,
and exactly, and
yeah,
sometimes as
that,
parents, we go back to that place of
uh-huh,
we protect them so much that
yes,
they
they,
they just get to a point where on their own, like life
mhm.
just happens to them,
Life just
and
happens and they're trying to figure it out, and then their peers stray them in the wrong direction because these some conversations they've never had with a parent or a mentor or a trusted adult, their peers or untrusted adults, or the media stir them in another way, and then they start to, it could go either way. Could that be that they understand the right thing and they do the right thing, or they just believe that this is real and just keep on that path even when reality hits them? But
that can
yeah.
mess people up, Crystal. Like I've seen so many young people get trapped in a cycle,
Mm-hmm.
so many, and it's like you said, yes, you can go either ways. It can actually work out for you. You're good, you can
Mm-hmm.
go down a path, you can learn, you get in strength and all this
Yeah.
character and all of these things.
Yeah.
But then
Or
some
Nell
people,
coming back. Mm-hmm.
no, coming back trapped in a
Yeah.
cycle of
Crap.
poverty and just struggle and all of that. And nobody, I don't think any parent sets out with that goal in mind.
Mm-mm.
And I
No.
can tell you, like, from my own personal experiences, I got to that place where I was like, I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I didn't know. Um, and a lot of times, even with my first child, I just found myself always questioning whether I was doing it right. Whether, like, I remember saying, I wish there was a manual for
Well,
parenting.
but
I wish,
at
because
least you took the time to do that self-reflection. You reflect and you research, and based on what you found, you took the steps to learn these things. I think that's what a lot of us are, people are lacking. Like, we love research. We'll look it up and we'll learn how to do it, and we'll now, we'll chat GPT it, but not everybody is willing. And maybe they look it up or somebody tells them, but they're not willing to take the steps. And it's not going to happen overnight. We have to
true,
be patient. We have to
true,
be
true.
patient and willing to learn. And like you said, be students also. You can learn from situations and others, and surround ourselves with people that are helping us to grow, not surrounding ourselves with people that are going to fill our heads with the negative things that are not helping us to grow. I heard something sometime and they said, if you're in a room and most you're the one that knows the most, then you're in the wrong room. You need to be in rooms with people that know more than you so you
I
can
I
learn
always
from them.
No, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's something I live by. That's something I was thinking about that recently. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, and I mean, on the flip side, I do get it because what I was thinking about is I I I associate myself with people that I can learn from,
Mm.
right? So I was thinking about the flip
Yes.
side of, well, what if you're that person that other persons learn from? Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's
Well,
fine.
like,
Nothing's
you're
wrong
the
with that.
teacher. So of course you're gonna be the smartest person in the
And you're the
room because
mentor.
you're the teacher, you're the mentor.
But I learn from my kids
But
too.
you
I'm
can
open
learn from,
minded.
exactly. You can learn from them, and it's reciprocal. It's not
That's
just,
true.
oh, I am
So
the
all the
teacher.
learning doesn't come from one
Come
person
from,
and stops there.
exactly,
But we're all
exactly.
working to improve ourselves and to get better.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
true. That's
yeah.
true. But yeah, these are just some of our thoughts as it relates to what the work that needs to be done
Be
to
done.
raise strong children.
Yeah.
um I know personally for myself, that is just an ongoing thing that I strive for.
Yeah.
I don't ever want my kids to get to a place where they're just thrust into this world and they wake
World.
up one day and they're like, oh wow, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
There's so
Like,
much I
what am
didn't
I
know.
doing?
No, exactly. I that was a very deflating moment in my life when
Mm-hmm.
I came to that realization that, hey, academically I'm it. I'm okay. I'm good.
Yeah.
But
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 then I
but
need to put the work in to learn. those other social skills
Right.
to
Just
survive in the world. Yeah,
baby to the world. I was a
yeah,
baby to the world.
yeah.
And that's, I don't want my kids to,
To
I don't want that for them. I want them to be academically smart, but yes, I also want them to be aware, you know. And one of the ways that I try to be intentional about that with my kids is we have conversations about them. We talk about the world, we talk about we talk about things that they can, even if we're not speaking directly to them, that they're in that space where they're hearing these conversations, they are exposed to these different conversations. Yeah,
yeah,
because it is important. We don't want to raise kids who are just blind, just
yes.
walking around blind. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, indeed. I agree. Wonderful. This is wonderful. And, keep doing the work that you're doing in the classroom. One student at a time. I know the impact will not fall on dry ground. I know you're planting seeds in the classroom day by day. And I just want to commend you for the work you're doing.
Well,
And
thank you, thank you.
keep, keep,
I have a strong sidekick.
keep up the good work. Keep
I
up the
think
good
we're
work.
both doing a good job, and there's just self praise is nothing to go by. But
Yeah,
the thing is about us and what we're trying to advocate for is continuous growth.
yeah.
So I know for me, I'm inspired to be better. I want my kids to um I want my kids to be
The
better,
best
right?
version, yeah.
I want
They
them to
have
be.
the ability to be the best version of themselves because they know that, you know, mommy cares about their holistic growth, not just academically, but in all aspects. And, we can talk maybe about some things that we weren't able to talk to our parents about, but we want them to know that they can talk to us about anything and we'll be there to help them through it. Not do it for them, but help them through it to brainstorm.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yes, no, it's true.
yeah.
It's true. I'm so grateful for all the skills that I know even Megan has learned,
Mhm.
because I, at 11 years old, she's basically independent. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to be checking grades
Mm-hmm.
constantly. Like, this is something she stays on top of for herself. I was telling you the other day that she gets projects, and sometimes I don't even know that she has these projects. Like, she
Mm-hmm.
just lets me know, mommy, I need this and this and this, and she does it. The other day she had a project that was due on, I think, Monday. She got home Friday, and she said, I'm gonna start working on my project. And I was like, that's good. Like, so I
To get
don't
the
have to
rest of the
sit.
weekend to rest. Yeah.
Exactly. So I
Yeah.
don't have to sit and be hovering and creating schedules and trying to
Mm-hmm.
manage her life. Like, she's already managing. And I think, you see what we're talking about, Crystal. These simple things, they translate into how successful we become as adults.
Yeah.
Like literally, when we were growing up, we were taught to spread our beds,
Yeah.
and the
Yes.
simple act of always getting up and spreading your bed
And
once you're
spread it.
awake,
Mm-hmm.
you know at the
Yeah.
time, I don't know, it may have seemed like, oh my god, like my parent was just being
Yeah, like
miserable.
why do I need to spread my bed and I'm home and I'm gonna lay in it?
But you were
But
learning
you are
how to
learning
be neat
discipline.
and
Yes, be
organized.
neat and also having a proper routine that you know that you need to do this and you do it and by all means necessary, whether you're going back to bed and take a nap, you're gonna still spread it and then you go take your nap, you spread it out, you fix it back.
I
Yeah,
can remember my dad drumming on the door, even on Saturdays. Like, my dad would wake us up
gotta wake up,
at
gotta
6
wake
a.m.
up. Yeah.
Exactly. And I tell you, no, for real, if he didn't do that, probably I would have probably slept.
I slept.
Just
Yeah.
continue sleeping. But he and you know what? He didn't just enforce that we did that as kids. Like, he led. They both led. They were the role models. We would get up
Mm-hmm.
and breakfast would already be ready and all of that. We had
Mm.
chores that we had to do. And so, that is I think that followed me throughout life. Like I have that
That's
sense of,
wonderful.
organization and
Mm-hmm.
cleanliness, and I have an understanding of how to organize myself.
Yeah.
So the simple things, they are so very
Yeah.
important.
Yes. And
And
yeah. Yeah.
I know that you have parents who are against giving kids chores.
Mm.
Well,
I wonder why.
no, it's true. But I think it comes back to a place of you feeling like you're doing something good for your
Good for
kids,
your kids.
or you're
Yeah.
showing them that you love them, or like even the whole concept of um giving kids everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes like it's good. I like
But
for all, not
I think
not
they need a balance.
I need a
There's a good
balance.
balance because even though you have everything and you can give them everything, they need to know the value of things. If you just keep getting things, how do you know the value and how do you know?
Oh, I have a prime example of
Yeah,
that.
how do
So
you
in my
know?
classroom, in the US, the kids don't have to buy textbooks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? They get tablets to use, all of that. If we were in Jamaica, you
Yeah,
would get your
yeah.
parent would get
You
a
get a
very
book
long
list. Mm-hmm.
book list that would cost thousands of
Yeah.
dollars.
Yes.
And yeah, and nobody was gonna pity you because you didn't get a textbook, like,
No.
that would be
No,
on you and your parent.
you're gonna have to find it or go photocopy it from your friend but you had to get the job done. Have
Parent, like, true example, I so we have textbooks that we give out. I gave a student a textbook. She lost the textbook. I gave her another textbook, another copy of the book. She lost the textbook again.
textbook
you know and it's like,
and there's
okay,
no consequences for that
this is
action.
where we start to learn that I don't need to be responsible. That there's something is gonna somebody else will have to
Gonna
make
appear.
some
Yeah.
kind of adjustments,
Yes. There's more in the store.
which is the wrong message I feel like we're sending. I always tell as a teacher, I've gotten to the place where I don't buy pencils anymore. When I
Mm.
just started, I used to buy pencils. Not me, and I don't care how cheap it is,
Mm.
because you will buy pencils and you will give it to these kids and they will throw it away. And the
Throw it
same kids are
away.
coming the next day and the next day, and they have
They don't
no
have the.
remorse,
Yeah.
no regard.
Yeah. You know what a teacher used to say? A workman cannot go to work without his tools. So how are you showing up to class without your pencil?
Crystal,
If
didn't you used your pencil
the
until it
pencil
was
until
down to the
the
bottom?
last bit of it.
Yeah.
And that was your tool. You're working, you come to class, you have things to do, and you need your book and your pencil. Those
And I
are your
cannot
tools.
remember too
How
many
are you gonna
kids
do?
in our time ever coming to school without books and pencil. I
Yeah.
cannot. And
Yeah.
something that I always I find deeply disturbing to hear is that you'll find the kids. They will have on the name brand shoes.
Shoes.
They will have on name brand everything.
And they will carry that with their whole life,
Hmm.
but they can't carry the little pencil.
Nope.
Yeah.
And they
'Cause-
behave very nonchalant, and they take no form of accountability for it
Mm,
because it's not their
there's an
responsibility.
unlimited resource. Yeah.
Right. And
Somewhere.
I think that is like a prime example of where we're leading them astray.
Mm-hmm.
Because just imagine those kids going out into the real world expecting that somebody is always
It's
going to
gonna
excuse
always,
their behavior.
always.
Somebody's going to pick up their slack. Somebody's always going
Mm-hmm.
to be looking out for them. And the real world is not
It's
like
not
that.
like that. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, I think this was a great
It was a great
conversation.
Yes, always a pleasure talking
True,
talking
true.
about these stuff. All right.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.